Hey folks, we're back and we're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge, and it's time for the All-Star Political Panel. A couple things before we get started. You know Bruce, you know Rick, you know Jane. Okay, everybody, this is your official notice. Next Friday is Christmas Sweater Friday. I didn't want to do mine because I thought, well, I didn't send out the memo. So everybody got that? Next Friday, Christmas sweater. Now, second, you got breaking news. Go ahead.
266,000 on the job report.
Hell, you said.
Predicted 180.
180.
180.
Hell, you know what Joe Biden would say? You're a damn liar.
Get your facts
a
straight,
push-up
man.
match. I can do more push-ups than you can.
What a
Get
I
your
don't care
fat
if you are
facts,
83.
Jack.
Get your facts straight, Jack.
What a putz.
What a tough guy. I think he was going to take him out back like he wanted to do.
Oh, my goodness,
So
it was-
now
it
go
was
with the jobs
embarrassing.
report a little bit because go with that. How many jobs?
266.
And what was the expected?
180.
But
Wait a minute. I gotta compute that because you're not
50%.
going to hear that any. Well, you will hear it in some places, and also the jobless claims were down. They expected way up. It was down 10,000 than expected. The jobless claims, meaning less people went and signed up, more jobs created.
there's an asterisk by the
Doesn't that
number.
go? Wait a minute. Go ahead.
There's an asterisk by the number because they predicted with all the GM strikers going back to work that it would be pumped up.
Oh, okay.
So
But doesn't that go against?
Yeah, but with the GM strikers on strike, the number was still up that month.
yeah.
Go
But
figure that,
Well,
right?
Were we not supposed to be? Were we not supposed to be done and finished over the trade wars and all this stuff?
oh, there's a recession coming.
Oh, it is.
Oh, yes.
Well on its way.
And a total crash of the bank.
There always is. We just don't know when.
Yeah. Wow. That's news, and we wanted to bring that to you. And thanks a lot, Rick, for looking that up because actually,
Hey, thanks for doing your homework, Rick.
yeah, okay.
Actually,
all
it
right.
came to his phone. like that.
Everybody's a comedian. Everybody, let's move on. All right. But
happened earlier?
actually, one Friday every month on the show, we get to actually announce that because it comes out at the time we're on here. And let's go with last night. I want to start with Nancy Pelosi. All right. Yesterday, she comes out and she says, well, we must move forward to save the democracy and all the stuff they say. And Trump just can't use the office for personal gain and on and on and on of why it's time to write the articles of impeachment and judiciary. And then James Rosen, of all people, remember
Yeah.
what happened to James
Fox's
Rosen?
own.
Right?
Jimmy Rosen got into a little tiff with maybe some indecent emails, some
So
pictures.
James Rosen, of all people,
I don't know
says,
this one.
do you hate the president? And the reason he asked that is the day before Congressman Collins said, this is all because you don't like the president. Simply enough, right? So he said, do you hate the president? That freaked her out.
Let me tell you, when she goes to the Catholicism thing, I'm thinking to myself, you bring up as a shield the Catholic Church and how devout a Catholic you are. But when it comes to abortion, I think that shield just kind of disappears. How come you don't bring up Catholic when you're talking about abortion, pro-life,
Because she's
pro-choice?
a hypocritical Catholic.
Because she's a hypocrite.
Well, that being said, you're 100%. But what about the rest of, her religion? The district that she actually represents, she's Speaker of the House, but she is a representative. I mean, there's needles on the streets. It's a disaster. Homeless. I mean, how could she just hear the word hate and go Catholic all of a sudden?
Well, when she comes out and says that she was raised, she was raised by a bunch of crooks,
She was. Mafia.
including her uncle and her father. And I'm going to say it right there on the camera.
Say it. It's time to say it. That's where we're at. That's where we're at in America.
And she was raised by
Write
crooks,
that
right?
down.
She was
That's where we're
raised
at.
by-
Come on,
It's
that was
time
mom
to
and
say it.
dad. Come on, you're trekking close to home.
Well, at least she's
All
not
right,
13 years old.
But they can't answer questions. They go nuts. They are full of hate. So let's flip over to the other one for you. Joe Biden yesterday. I mean, 83-year-old man, right? He's 83 years old. He's an Iowan. Is that what they are? Iowans? I don't know.
Iowans, yes. Very good.
So he stands up and he says, hey, they're saying Trump and Ukraine and this and that. But didn't your son get a job and you don't know nothing about the gas business? And Biden freaked out on him.
That's his
Yeah.
trigger. That guy triggered him big time.
Because he doesn't get questions like that. Everyone's been like tiptoeing around it.
Softballs.
With any of the media, they've tiptoed around that with Joe. So I think getting it on his malarkey tour, where he's supposed to
I got the T-shirt coming. I have to have the Joe Biden Malarkey Tour 2019 T-shirt. Oh man, malarkey! Yeah. I think we should
No
stop.
malarkey.
No malarkey.
No malarkey.
Well, let me ask you this.
But didn't you love when the guys when Joe said, "Where did you hear that?" Expecting that he was going to say Fox News. That's what I thought anyway.
No.
And the guy comes out and he says, "I heard it on MSNBC."
And what did Joe say? You didn't
You
hear
did
it.
not hear that on that
Right, we got
channel.
a deal.
We can,
we got a deal.
We
You're not
control what they
Yeah.
say.
But the anger and the hate these people have. Now, you turn that around, and if that would have been Trump, hours of how he's dividing the country, hate, example he sets for it, everything.
Yeah.
Joe Biden turns and he looks at this guy. He's 83 years old. He says, "You're a damn liar." What the hell? Really? You better get your story straight. Your words better be correct, Jack.
Yeah. Check your facts, Jack.
Check your facts,
You
Jack.
know what? He sounds like those hoods back in
He-
high school.
I was just gonna say that.
And his mother says, Now, Joey, you go out and put your big boy pants on now, Joey. You don't let them
Well,
get over you.
how
And
about
so
the,
he's, hey, Jack.
How about the body language too? Joe's walking around away from him, and when the guy says it, he calls him a damn liar. He shoots right up to his face, like I'm gonna
Right.
kick your ass.
Yeah.
I want
My
someone,
gosh.
I wish, but of course he'd go straight to jail. When he says, would you like to go out behind the barn? I want someone to say, yes, I would. Let's go. I mean,
Yeah.
and grab him by the neck and
Drop
knock
the mic,
hell out of
Grandpa.
him. Take him up
Yeah,
on it.
new grandpa, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
so this past week, moving right. I mean, they're angry. They are so angry,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
showing. It's
unbelievable.
showing, and the American people know it. Because I will say this, and I don't want to get stuck. The American people are not waiting for TV to tell them anymore what's going on. So when I do watch MSNBC this morning, they open up with nothing about Joe Biden. All right, and then they cheer Nancy for having the guts to stand up. All right. So anyhow, but we're not waiting for that. We're looking for ourselves now, and that's what messes them up because we're going and doing our own research. Let's go to.
Did anybody
ahead.
did anybody see highlights of the second press conference that she did? I'm
The one
telling
when
you,
she got so angry at
no, that was the
Are you talking about
Walking
last night,
off.
the CNN town hall?
no. She did two press conferences yesterday, one at 9:00 and one at 10:30.
I saw
Right.
I thought I saw the end of the 10:30.
The 10:30 one was her regular weekly press
Don't
conference.
tell me I hate anyone. I don't hate anyone.
And the other one was the one about the
The official
impeachment.
one.
Let me tell you, I watched her a little bit in that second one, and she was like you couldn't tell.
Right.
She couldn't
Her brain is scrambled up. She's
really.
looking,
I mean, her mouth is going in different directions
There's
than
something. It's
it's
true.
crazy to watch her.
Nervous Nancy. Let's.
Well, I think she's just. I truly believe she's just really too old for that job.
You know, if I were Nancy, what I'd do, because she wants power so badly,
Yeah.
I would get on that television and say, I'm calling this whole thing off. It is ruining our country, and all of you guys get
ruining the
behind.
party.
And I will tell you, there would be so many people getting behind her.
I think impeachment
It-
has
it
become the
would.
mother of all neutron bombs. It basically is just going to wipe out every Democrat standing,
I hope so.
and the Republicans
and they can't
will be,
see it.
you know,
You know,
There's a lot of Democrats in the wings that are really nervous.
they're just
about
going to
this whole thing.
vaporize. You know, when this thing, gets to the Senate and they either dismiss it, or they'd go ahead and do the show trial, and they get to bring their witnesses and
That's what I hope happens.
Yeah.
Well, what about?
Let me tell
No.
you something. Well, I want
Okay. Well, what about is it 30 or 32? I don't know if it's 30 or 32 Democrat districts.
31.
31.
Yeah,
all
right in the middle.
Democrat districts
Yep. Red.
that Trump won, right? Mm-hmm. What if they go through, and this is a big what if? What if they go through the impeachment articles of impeachment and then send it to the floor for a vote, and those 31 vote against it, and then they get to go home in the red districts and say we voted against that, and it's kind of a barrier for them to get reelected. What you know what I'm saying? What if they do that?
I don't think she's,
She's not going to happen. She's not going to be.
She's got the
seen
votes. She's
to
got the
lose
votes.
their- I
Even though she
understand,
said
but-
yesterday, we are not going to pressure anybody to vote.
Oh yeah.
Everybody will make up their own mind in this.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I don't see 31 going against her unless they say do that so we can win back the House. Because I think, and I wasn't ready to go here, but I think every day as we inch closer to next year, 2020, the Republicans have a chance to take him back to the House.
Well, this morning I had a really low blow. If you guys read it, that the guy Mitch McConnell. I mean, that guy runs cold arsenic through my blood. I just can't stand that man.
Turtle?
And
Come on.
he's
He's getting those judges through.
But he stands up there and says, that's true. He says, well, now I don't know if we're going to ask all these witnesses. You know, those people, the Republicans who want to just take this thing, get all these witnesses coming in. I don't think they're gonna do that, and we're not gonna make this another circus.
He's
I'm
doing
thinking,
peas under the
what?
walnuts.
I mean, I'm thinking. I think he is total deep state. I think he has things to hide. I don't know. I worry about him, and Graham. He's letting everybody down now too. What do you think? I don't think they're coming up and saying, "Let's go." I mean, look at Jim Jordan. Look at all those people.
I don't think he has the right to say we're not going to bring any witnesses because the president's counsel.
Well, he said it.
Is the
Right. Thank you for saying. I mean, I didn't know.
I just don't think that.
He didn't run that operation when he was over there then, right?
Well,
I think the president's counsel is the one that gets to choose whether witnesses they're going to call.
I don't want to get so far down that road. Not that I don't want to discuss it, and don't take this wrong. I want to stick a little more to the House right now before we get to the Senate, because how many of you watched the constitutional scholars?
I watched
Poindexter's.
2/3 of it.
2/3 of it.
I mean, the snarky bisexual Jewish woman.
Oh yeah.
Self-described.
What happens to us?
Snarky bisexual Jewish woman.
What happens to us now?
What did you say?
That's
How
It
dare
was
you?
very similar to what I said the other morning on the text. Just a little bit less racy.
So I get this text.
That's
the
what
other
she said,
morning.
right?
Yeah, she said
I
that
get
herself.
this. I understand, but I get this.
They have her on
text.
tape saying it.
I got it. I get this text the other day, right before the show, or the night before the show, and he says, "Hey, can we refer to her?" And I was like, "I don't know. We'll do something." But okay, so mixing some of it, I felt the Republicans did a great job, and there's so many takeaways. My favorite line from Congressman Collins is when he closed. He said, "This all started over tears in Brooklyn."
That's
Tears
right.
in Brooklyn's my line, because that's the night of election night that they were all crying, and Hillary was off drunk somewhere, and they couldn't sober her up enough to come to the podium, and she had to send out what's his name to say, "Hey, every vote hasn't been counted." Remember that night? And they were all hugging
Over
each
shutting
other
down for the
and
night, go
crying
home.
and everything. And Collins says this all started over tears in Brooklyn, and there's so many lines. I thought he was amazing, and I want to be careful because I don't want to put my politicians, my elected officials too, but I think Collins has done an amazing job for the President of the United States,
I do too.
our district, and this country.
totally.
Yep.
Tells it like it is. I wasn't aware. I was gone all last week, and I don't know when it happened that the governor didn't appointed someone else for the
Kelly Loeffler.
Kelly Loeffler.
Yeah, so,
I want to get into that. Yes, we do.
yeah,
Want to get
someone
into
because
that.
I was really pretty shocked. I'm not into state politics. You guys know everything, but I
Well,
thought
that's
that was kind of
more
a
than
slam
state
dunk.
politics. I mean, that's
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And
Yeah.
just because Rick told me she donated a lot, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah.
this is a crucial time in our history, and why he wouldn't want another senator over there
Well, here's
voting.
you see, I have trouble sitting here feeling I know something. I will put it that way. And not saying it is the state of Georgia, and we'll leave it like this. The state of Georgia is more divided than people realize politically. The state of Georgia is very fractured politically. You have your Georgia Republican Assembly, not bad people, but they're over here. You have your country club Republicans around Atlanta, they're over here. You have us in rural North Georgia, we're over here. You have your party line. It's very fractured. And you have power. You have power struggles in the state. Now, former Governor Nathan Deal was from Gainesville, and if you follow state politics, a lot of people will say, well, we're tired of that Gainesville power nucleus over there, and we're going to break it. So Collins is from Gainesville. Okay, and I don't want to go too far, but Doug Collins is from Gainesville, and they want to break the
Gainesville hold.
Yeah.
yes. So that's some thought, but let's go back to Poindexter and the other the hearing this week that Jerry Nadler held. Any takeaways? Anything you heard? I mean, I heard Jonathan Turley.
I thought it was magnificent when they referred to his 1998 comments. Collins pulled that old clip, and him saying,
Nadler.
Yeah.
And we can find out the truth of who started this coup d'etat. Remember that?
Yeah,
He said that?
exactly.
Yeah, right. They're going to write articles of impeachment. What happens? What say you?
I think they're going to write the articles, they're going to vote, and they're going to impeach him. That's
Okay.
what I think.
in the same breath, though, they will admit that he's not going to get impeached.
Yeah, they say that.
Yeah. I mean, they are looking.
They don't know what to do.
He's going to be the candidate for the Republicans, and they're acknowledging all of that by saying that, you know, we want a black mark on there when we go against him in the next election. They know he's not going to get impeached.
Yeah, Joe will stand up there, whoever it is on the stage, and say, you know, you've been impeached, boy.
You know, the one thing, the takeaway that I'm hearing is unchecked. Trump unchecked, right? You hear that all the time. If we leave Trump unchecked, this is what happens. So if he gets a second term and he's unchecked, that'll be big. But I agree with you that he'll be impeached. But is it not just simply put, a scary time in this country that we would impeach? Because
That's what Tully said. Or what
Yeah,
he-
Turley did a great job
it's
of laying that out and
He
saying,
did.
my takeaway word or
Guys.
phrase from that whole thing was, it's your abuse of power.
Right.
Right, and that's
Pointing
exactly.
to all those committee members on the Democratic side.
Well, wait a minute. Now, on one hand, when we go through an election, we hear all of this talk of how important it is everybody votes, how important everybody's votes counted, right? No suppression, all this. It's very serious, and I don't know how to put it. Maybe you guys can do it. It's very serious that they don't realize or take it serious enough that they're trying to revoke
Exactly.
64
Million
million
votes.
votes in this country. Not one.
You talk about voter suppression.
60, exactly. They're trying to revoke. What an impeachment is it revokes.
It's a rebuke of
Of
the.
your vote.
Yeah, exactly.
But they would say, yeah, but we got 65 million in our back pocket, so go smoke a pipe.
That's what they're
Yeah,
saying.
but we got the Electoral College.
But the,
Well, then you get into a
but
whole
the-
nother.
Yeah, we won't have that if we don't.
Pocahontas
get
has already
in and
said,
go
you know,
smoke
if
a
I get
pipe.
elected, I'll be the last person elected through the electoral.
Good luck.
Electoral College is sitting on a fence, man.
So
That's what
you-
she said.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So,
She
I
is-
mean, isn't it a scary time? Though?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Let me
What do
tell
you
you how
think?
scary it to me. I mean, I hadn't stomped around the kitchen in a long time, but I'll tell you, when I was watching that, whatever he is, Nadler, and then
Whatever he is,
Collins
yeah.
or someone would say, I would like to ask a question of, bring up a parliamentary question. How is
Uh-huh.
this going to be handled? He'd say, you cannot ask this. He says, yes, I can. I need the rules. Blah, blah, blah. He'd say, table, you know, and then he knew it was going to be 24-17 every dadgum time, but he wouldn't let our side ask even questions on how the parliamentary thing was going. So I'm thinking, even the bad guys can see this is just Nazism.
Well, you can expand that to
Period.
whatever you
And
want
yeah,
within
you
that
can.
hearing.
You can.
They get three.
and we got. They only
But
let
they
him.
wanted to lead America, with the exception of John Turley, they wanted to lead America to believe that they were bringing in 3 constitutional, nonpartisan
think we're
scholars
stupid.
that were going to give us a breakdown, a nonpartisan breakdown of the Constitution, what our founders were implying, what they were saying, what they meant when they wrote impeachment into the Constitution, and this is why what Trump did qualifies to meet an impeachable offense. But they didn't. They brought in 3 people that were very clearly political hacks.
And it was,
very
and
clearly
it was proven
left.
over and over.
Highly partisan.
Clear.
Yes, they were not. Now, I would say this, not that I like where we're at, but if they really brought in 3 constitutional scholars that really went through it, and I was actually getting a class, I might have watched it in interest. But Turley is the only one that, for me, did the class. That, the takeaways were, you got to be careful with what you're doing here. So anyhow, at the end there, they're going to move forward Monday. I think it is. Is it Monday? They're going
And
to
as everybody knows, Turley voted for Hillary.
Right.
And he's a Democrat.
But he's a student
straight
of
arrow.
the Constitution.
Right.
And he's like Barr, I think.
He's the only one that really was qualified to fit the parameters that they designated for.
And he did it simply and beautifully.
no fact witness. And I will tell you this: Wednesday morning, before the hearing at 8:15, Congressman Collins was on the show this past week, and I asked him. I said, you said you want to bring Adam Schiff and to testify, and he's a fact witness. Explain that. No fact witness in judiciary. Not a one was a fact witness. I like what is a Getz out of Florida,
Matt
Congressman.
Gaetz,
Getz is his name.
Gates.
Matt Gates.
Or
Yeah.
Gates.
Gates,
Yeah,
Gates,
he's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, Gates.
He's great.
I like what he said. Would somebody, by show of hand, are any of you fact witnesses? Nobody can raise their hand. Nobody can, right?
They didn't even
And-
do that.
And then, how did you describe that woman? Could you give that to us one more time? What was the description of the lady in the middle, the professor?
Oh, she called herself.
No,
A snarky bisexual Jewish woman
yeah, the snarky bisexual Jewish woman
from Stanford.
from Stanford, Barron Trump.
Oh,
Although you can
Unbelievable.
name your son Barron, you can't make him a
him a
Barron.
That was so contrived and rehearsed.
She couldn't wait to work that
She
in.
couldn't wait
had
to
it
work
all
that
planned
in.
out.
She had it all planned out as right. Someone wrote it for her. She knew she was going to get a smattering of laughter, but it really,
because they'd gone down this whole king road.
It really egged on her
Trump
face, though.
thinks of
Yeah, they
himself as a
worked that
king.
right.
yeah.
But right after that, I'm sorry, Jane, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that her snarky
Bisexual.
apology, snarky bisexual
Jewish
Jewish
woman.
woman's apology was, I shouldn't have said that, but I sure wish Trump would apologize for this and apologize
Thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not an apology.
Brian did a nice piece on the show where he compared and contrasted the way that was put out there by CNN and by Fox. They took that little clip. They didn't go further to show the snarky part coming out.
So you're 100% right, because yesterday what I did is I clipped out CNN and MSNBC.
I think I just said that.
But I clipped them out. When I watch them, I clipped out because they put them little bylines, I call them, at the bottom. They wrote, she apologized, right? And if you're watching and you're busy and you're in the kitchen, not that a woman needs to be in the kitchen, could be a guy getting coffee. But if you happen to be in the kitchen,
She could have been on her
want to be
Peloton.
careful. Want to be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah, she could have been on the
Yeah, you
Peloton.
could have been on your Peloton.
kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Taking selfies.
Taking selfies. All right, we covered it all. But
We
if
got
you
the
were in
commercial
there
out of the
and-
way.
And you're just listening to the news in the morning, you would hear them talking about, she did it, but she apologized. They tried to roll out, and I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. You hit a home run, because I said, well, here's what she said. Here's what they put up. Now let's listen to her apology. I apologize, but Trump, you apologize. It's your turn. It's like, there was no
I
apology.
heard Morning Joe, I don't know, I guess it was on Hannity. But Morning Joe said, well, apologize. I think Trump should apologize for saying horrible things about my wife's facelift and how she didn't come out well. We're talking about the freaking country here, man. And you're talking about apologize for what he said about
boy.
your wife's
Is that why she
facelift.
can't blink?
No, I don't know.
Just say it. Just say it. She
Yes,
stares.
it's like this.
No, easy. Okay, so
Let me ask a question if I can.
go for it.
You had that. You referred to a piece that you had on the show. I mean, in my mind, Collins is the most visible guy, and you got him to call into the show.
Yes,
it was
Wednesday.
a short segment. Behind the scenes, does his office kind of set you up with questions? Do you design your own
Never.
questions?
Never.
So they never even try. Is that correct?
No. Let me say this.
I do the questions.
No. I am glad you said that. I will not do an interview with anybody that sends me questions. And this is why I did have a state representative one time that I wanted to interview, and they said send me a list of questions. And I will tell you this: I replied, Doug Collins, Congressman Collins, Speaker of the House Ralston. I've sat down in his office in Atlanta.
We were there with you.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
Did you see a list of questions that
Negative.
his office
No.
handed me?
No.
Never. Now, I will tell you this, in fairness to transparency, the congressman's staff has sent over and said, is there subjects? Not a question. He says, is there subjects? So I don't throw a subject out that he hasn't even studied for or know. Do you want to share a subject with us? Okay. Question, never. And I tell anybody that says, hey, I need Governor Kemp, okay? When he was candidate Kemp and then governor-elect, we did it on a Friday, remember, right after the election. He was on our show with us. They've never said to me, do you have the question?
I didn't think
I didn't mean to.
I didn't think you were going to anyway, but I'm so delighted that you didn't say anything about Kelly Loeffler. Are you disappointed that you weren't Senator? That was not the time or place
I
for
felt it was disrespectful.
I did
If
too.
would've
I
done
did too,
that,
and I'm glad you didn't say anything.
I did get one text or a message somehow. Why didn't you ask? Because we all knew he was making the announcement at 10 o'clock. What do I want to do? I want to embarrass the congressman.
That's exactly right.
Of
Really?
course he was
That's
disappointed.
right.
Of course.
So, and he sent out a statement immediately afterwards, and we put that out immediately afterwards. He sent out a statement, and they sent it to us immediately. But I didn't feel Wednesday Chris Wallace asked him, okay, on Fox News Sunday, hey, what about the appointment of Kelly Loeffler possibly by the governor? And I just didn't feel, we had 8 minutes. I will say this, his office, I'm not sharing anything out of turn. His office said, look, Congressman has a lot, because it was the
Well,
Wednesday.
you smoked through it that morning.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I say this in respect because I know the congressman very well. So they sent me a message that said, look, he's got a lot to study for today. Understandable. It's going to be 8 minutes, and that's all we have. So I sent back, and I said nicely, okay, well, tell the congressman I'm going to ask quick questions, and he needs quick answers. Because I know, he can get
Don't start rocking back on your feet.
Exactly. But yes.
Is it your opinion he will throw his hat in the ring and run too?
No, I don't think he will.
Okay.
You want to go there?
No.
Let's go.
No.
No. Let's go.
I just want
no. Damn it! I want to go
quick
there.
question.
Don't make me go Joe Biden on your ass.
Quick question, quick answer.
Jack, get your facts straight. Now you sit still over there and let me answer that damn
Give
question.
me 10 push-ups.
I want push-ups.
Okay, let's go. No, let's go there for a minute. Okay,
fine.
so it is important. This is a lot that happened this week. Johnny Isakson gave his very good farewell speech Tuesday at 2:30 on the floor of the Senate, said goodbye to the Senate, and he's retiring. After that, on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., Governor Brian Kemp appointed Kelly Loeffler to be our next senator. Now, and introduced her as the Iowa farm girl. Sorry, I know that was Illinois farm girl, not Iowa. Illinois.
Come on, we're
farm
sticking
girl.
up for Illinois.
I got
That's
it.
right.
So now, her husband is the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. Jeff Speecher is that his
He
name?
actually owns it.
Yeah,
and the CEO.
He's the big guy.
Yeah, he
He's
bought
done
all.
all
He
of
bought all the exchanges. I
Well,
think
she's got
he-
a basketball team.
Yeah.
And she has a cryptocurrency company.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
she's
a lot
pushing-
here.
yeah.
There's a whole lot here. Okay?
Bitcoin.
globalist.
Yeah, they're big time globalists. I'm sorry. So, anyhow, there was a lot of hope by a lot of people that he would pick Congressman Doug Collins. Now that it's done and over with, I have said this publicly. You've heard this going in the Wayback Machine when Johnny said he was going to retire. I've not always wanted Congressman Collins to jump to the Senate. I mean, we have, while I'm going, if you don't mind, we have had to put up with a Boehner from Ohio, a Ryan from Wisconsin, and I think it's high time that Georgia have a Speaker of the House. I think Doug Collins could be Speaker of the House.
He could be, but he's going to have to be voted. And there's two guys. Cindy said, my wife said to me, well, he's not in the succession chain. I said, it has nothing to do with that. in the past, it looks like it has. Mm-hmm. But there's two guys ahead of him that would be speaker, I would believe.
Trump is
What's his name?
Kevin McCarthy?
No, you're looking
Kevin
at
McCarthy.
and
I
Scalia.
don't like him.
Scalise.
Scalise, not Scalise. Scalise, right. Scalise.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Okay. All right, but let's say this now. We don't know.
I'm with you, though.
And Trump's not always he doesn't always go with the next in line. Trump's been known to just like, I'm going to do this. Say with Collins. But when he appointed her, okay, she came out yesterday, there's an article that she's already put together a $20 million campaign fund of her own. She's putting up $20 million of her own money to keep people from running against her.
You know where she got that? She got that in the couch.
See,
So-
She dug down there
So,
and found
see,
20
here's the
million.
thing.
They've
this
got
is
so
not
much.
the way the country is meant to be.
Prediction: Collins will not run. That's what I could be wrong. There's a possibility out there, folks. It's slim, but it's possible.
Are there other Georgia politicians that may run?
I don't know.
You talking about Republicans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to. I think she will get some opposition because let's remember, let's just use 500 as a number. There was 500 applications. Okay? So Collins and Loeffler are two. What about the other 498 people that applied for this position?
You know that for a fact? There's 500 applicants?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't we send one?
He did.
No, I didn't do But what I'm saying, what about the other 498? And the thing that's being questioned, and the governor's gotten a little upset about it, the thing that's been questioned, I've questioned a lot, is he put a 5 o'clock window in. He said, Monday at 5 o'clock, if you don't have your application in, we close the window, and then we're going to make a decision. When did she put her application in? 3 o'clock that day.
We talked about that yesterday. You and I did on the telephone.
3 o'clock that day, she put her application in.
And so tell me,
The takeaway from that, though,
tell me
is,
what to take away. I mean,
is that there was only a couple of, there was a short period of time by the time the cutoff and the announcement.
so she
but-
waited and waited and
But it
waited.
was interesting the amount of preparation that she had done when she when the announcement was made and she rolled out the speech. She came out with a whole new set of
Or graphics are ready. Her campaign team is
Well,
ready.
this has probably been talked about for weeks and months.
Well,
before.
that's the point. You wondered if it was a cut deal behind
yeah.
the scene, and just put it in there and we'll
I
get
just
you
have
going.
to say now. Listen, I want to say
Not that there's
All
anything
right.
wrong with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
there are political consulting businesses in Georgia and all over the United States. So let me say this. I'm not trying to hog the mic, but there's two or three. Okay, when you say, well, I don't really know some of the things that happen in the state. If you want to know, there's two or three major power struggles in Georgia when it comes to political consulting. There's two or three companies. Okay, all right. Now the company that handled, and I know the guys. Okay, they handled Brian Kemp's campaign. Happen to be the same people that are handling Kelly's campaign.
Starts with a P, doesn't it? The name of the
Parlay.
company? Parlay. There you
You
go.
look them up, Parlay LLC. There, you can look them up, who they are. But
Like the
Getting
French
a little
parlay?
cozy here.
Like
well,
the French parlay?
So Parlay LLC
Parlay-
ran.
Not Parlez-vous. P-A-R-L-A-Y.
They ran Brian Kemp's
not easy.
campaign, and they stand to make millions of dollars. I don't know if them, but they stand to make a lot of money running hers. So the same group that handled his campaign is handling hers. So he announced her at 10 o'clock. It ended like 10:40, and at 10:45, I got an email from Parlay LLC, Team Kelly, ready to go.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
All
it
set
was
and all
all
cut and
done.
dried.
right, so ready to go.
Who
Ink
could
was
oppose her on the Dem side?
I don't know yet.
Sally Yates.
No, article came out yesterday where she said she wouldn't. I don't know if I'm wrong. I didn't get deep into it.
So it's
I read the same article, and, she was just, there was some pushback there.
Okay.
I don't know that I'm
the
ready
field's
for
open. The field's open.
Yeah, I don't know, but
She would be the logical woman against woman, high profile. Used to be, in the Attorney General's office, correct?
yes.
Is that going to be some of like the opposition is going to say, here's a woman with no political experience, blah, blah, blah.
Here's one more thing in that, okay? And I don't want to kill any of the subjects if you want, but one more thing in that. With this, the appointment has to run in 2020, and it's called a jungle primary. So they will not run in a regular Democrat Republican. Like Perdue is the nominee on the Republican, the Democrats, and Perdue will run against somebody. But in this seat, what you do is you do it the same thing they do in Louisiana, same thing they do everywhere else. There'll be, you remember Karen Handel ran against 8 Republicans and 6 Democrats? Mm-hmm. That's what will happen in this one. That's what this race is. So 5
And they take the top 2 or something like that?
No. Yeah, 5
Unless one gets
Republicans.
more than 50%.
50%
Right.
plus 1 vote.
Right.
Georgia is a 50% plus 1 vote. So if you get in this one here, you could have 4 Democrats and you can have 5 Republicans and dilute it. And I will say this, I want to move on, but that's how we ended up with Doug Jones, the Democrat in Alabama, was the same way. Remember that?
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, Kelly Loeffler is going to be your new Senate. And I will make a prediction here. A lot of people, I did a lot of segments on this. A lot of people were very upset over it based on the process. I was more upset about the process. And she's a multi-millionaire, which I don't care. Country club Republican and all the above. And they have 2 Gulfstreams. Kemp picking a woman, this didn't meet any of the diversity that he says he's trying to do to get women back in the Republican Party.
She did say all the right things, though, when she was
She had her
introduced.
5 points. She did
Well, she
all
has
the
a
right
good PR
things.
firm.
Yeah.
and
And
that's
she's
why
got
she
the
said
right. I
that.
know who wrote it for her. I was listening. I can hear the guy. I'm not going to mention his names. I can hear him.
Well,
and
excuse me for interrupting. It dovetailed with what Kemp said. Kemp said, I wouldn't appoint anybody that doesn't do this, and this. She came out. She said the exact same thing that he said he was looking
She
for.
came out and said, I'm pro-life.
Yeah.
She came out and said, I'm pro-Second Amendment. She came out and said, this impeachment's a sham. She came out and said, I support the President of the United States. She came out and said, I'm pro-life. Is that twice?
Yep.
No, she said, I'm a Christian.
I'm a Christian. And then she said, like, if all else fails, what do you say? Build the wall. So she came out with those 5 or 6 points. From here to Election Day, I know the guy's running her campaign. From here to Election Day, she will never move from those. If she sits down with me and I ask her a question, this and this, she'll go back to one of those points, and that'll be the answer.
Or maybe
from
all
here to
5 or
election.
6 of them.
And I'm a conservative. Moving right along, a lot of people got upset because I don't know if you heard the story that Trump endorsed cops. Okay, Trump actually, the understanding is he made a couple phone calls to Governor Kemp and said, I think you should pick Doug Collins. Okay. Second, Sunday before last, in a private trip that got leaked out, Kemp put Kelly on the plane, our understanding, because it's now news, and took her to D.C. to introduce her to Trump and say that was his choice. Paraphrasing, Trump basically said, why did you bring her here then, if that's your choice? You know, why did you even bring her, you know? And my words, if you read all the articles, basically threw him out. Okay?
You're wasting my time.
Yeah, this is a waste of my time. You already picked it, and he came back home. I told you who I picked. But for all of those Trump supporters that feel that Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, went against the president, here's what's going to happen, my prediction. She's going to get sworn in. She's going to go up there. Mitch McConnell's going to drive her over to the Oval Office. They're going to sit in the Oval Office. She's going to pledge her undying support for the President of the United States, and he's going to tweet out, I met today with Georgia's new Senator, Kelly Loeffler. She has pledged her support for the president.
She's on my
Make
team.
America great again. She's on my team, and all will be forgotten. End of story.
Yep.
It has to be. I'm
Sorry.
How do you
pick a
think?
subject.
How do you
No,
think?
no, no. I'm.
How do you think David Ralston feels
I
about
feel
it?
like I'm one of those political scholars that's getting to explain something.
Huh?
I don't know. What?
How do you think David Ralston feels about the way
I
this
that's a
can't
good
comment on
question.
that.
Why not?
Jeez.
Because
'Cause
David
you
told him
know,
not to.
'cause you know. Yeah.
All right, here. Okay. All right. No. If you ask the question, I'm going to answer. How does the Speaker of the House? I'm really not sure 100%. Okay, I would
That's
have
fine.
I I would have my opinion, and that wouldn't be right. But if you looked, and let me explain this to the camera also. If you looked at the announcement, did you watch the announcement of her? If you looked at the announcement,
I saw a picture.
Okay, the speaker was on one side, okay, and the lieutenant governor was on the other. All right. You didn't see a whole lot of. You didn't see David Perdue down there. You didn't see some other people down there, but you did see, the lieutenant governor, Jeff Duncan, and he presides over the Senate, the state Senate, and you've seen the Speaker of the House. All I'm going to say is I don't know how they feel, but if they would not have been in that picture, they would be held to pay in January when session went in. So I wouldn't read the picture of 100% support. I'm getting in the weeds. So I mean, I wouldn't read the picture of 100% support if I was looking at it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's their job. They had to do it.
Yeah.
You have any questions? What say you? What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about. Hey, Tom,
My question,
go for it.
I had a small question before you said, when we talked about Doug Collins and the potential of him becoming Speaker of the House. Granted, they got to take the House back first before they figure out if they got a Speaker candidate.
Yeah.
And you said, but the president always doesn't go in pecking order. I was always under the assumption that he doesn't have any say-so in it.
He doesn't. They have to vote on
They
it.
have a
Well,
vote.
he has his favorite, but
Yeah, they have a vote within
members
the
vote.
House. Isn't that correct?
The members vote.
Right,
Yeah.
but you submit yourself as a candidate.
Of course.
Yeah, like Jim Jordan. I
So
was hoping.
if you submit yourself as a candidate,
Right, then they vote on it. But the
Right.
president doesn't have any
President
say-so as to who gets appointed.
the president had no say-so over our senator. That's under our Constitution. The Georgia State Constitution gives the governor all the rights and powers to appoint the senator.
Right.
Right?
I'm not arguing the point.
But
I'm
he
just
doesn't have
saying,
the
He's
power.
talking about the role of
I said,
Speaker
what
of the
is the
House.
process? And I was trying to
Yeah,
clarify
but
that.
you were going with next in line. And what I'm saying is you're thinking that, okay, President Trump's going to come out and say, oh, Kevin McCarthy will make a great speaker, or in Louisiana.
Steve Scalise.
Yeah. All I was saying is just like Georgia and saying Collins would make a good senator, it's not his, it wouldn't be beyond him to step down a little bit
Yeah,
and pick somebody else.
I got
You
it.
understand
Yep,
what I'm saying?
Yep.
But let me ask y'all, what's your opinion of Jim Jordan? I mean, I think he's brilliant. I think he's a little.
It's a good wrestler.
He is less country clubby. You know what I mean?
No, he's definitely not country club.
No, I think he's brilliant. I think he's out there with fire, and I mean, he just seems to be doing his little job over there. But I don't know why he's not considered, and he isn't in the top 3 for that. Why is that? Do you think?
Don't know. But yeah, I don't disagree with what you
I mean, he is
how you've
almost
described
as
him.
good as Trey Gowdy when he gets going on.
I agree with that. We can go into that, or I would like to know from you, because we're running out of time, and I've been waiting to hear from you about the Horowitz report. What do you think is going to happen next?
Oh, God. Well, you hear it's going to come out and justify everything those creeps did. I don't have a clue.
I think it's going to be a whole lot of nothing.
It's gonna be another.
That's what Rush says.
Kaboom! Just kaboom.
He's going to lay out like things were,
Horowitz is an Obama
misdemeanors.
appointee.
Yes. And why
happened.
is he still in that
It's going to
position?
be kind of a
He-
Mueller thing.
He's got no subpoena powers. Nothing he can do.
Is Barr and Durham still on track, do you think?
Not according to WAPO.
What is
Washington
that?
Post came out and said that the Durham report's going to be all about nothing too.
Oh
Now,
no!
I don't know if that's true. I don't know what they're basing it on.
Wasn't Barr conflicting with Horowitz?
Yes,
That
he
was
didn't
the
like
big
the conclusion. He
conflict,
didn't agree
right.
with the conclusion.
Now he's.
Now Barr is the only one that's seen it, correct?
Now, is it $900 million? Have we seen the translation, the Ukrainian press conference with the Ukrainian lawmaker that did a press conference that said that he had the facts that Biden received $900 million, right?
That's what he said.
Some number.
Right?
Yeah.
And you remember this guy? I don't remember his name, but he's a lawmaker in Ukraine.
Which Biden, son?
No.
No.
The lawmaker
Joe.
in Ukraine.
Joe.
Yeah,
Joe.
Joe.
Joe received it.
But you know the press conference, right? Mm-hmm. Where's Rudy Giuliani?
Is in Ukraine.
With him.
Yep.
Right. Rudy don't care. He's with the guy that said it. He's over there. So
Yep.
Just saying.
Just saying is right.
Tom Graves said yesterday he will not seek the 14th district again. He's retiring. Congressman Tom Graves.
Who is that?
Huh?
Where's 14th?
14's Murray, Walker County,
Okay.
Dalton, that way.
I got
Okay.
you.
So he's not seeking re-election. Little speculation that
Maybe he's going to get appointed to something else.
maybe, or a little speculation that he was going to run for Senate is the reason he says not. But I talked to somebody last night that said that's not happening. So Tom Graves is not running. We've got a lot going on next week.
Is there going to be a big brouhaha for voting machines in Georgia?
Okay, I
Oughta be.
recommend, okay, everybody, and that same morning, were you able to hear the interview with Lee after
Part of it.
Collins? Okay. Lee said, quit calling them voting machines.
They're voting
They're
computers.
voting computers. America needs to stop calling them voting machines. They're voting computers. They're programmed. And even in that interview that I have online, she said that company, she named the company that has these voting machines and said that company has 75% of the voting
Of the business,
machines
yes.
in America.
Voting
And they-
computers. You just tell us to call them
And they say that
computers.
Soros
Yeah,
owns
see,
most
I'm
of
working. Yes.
those. And Soros owns those. What can you do to a computer if you know how? Anything you want.
Well, first of all, the scary thing is, I always go, I know we're in Georgia and I know we refer to PA because PA, I do have some insider information, and two, it's very critical on Trump's reelection, and here in Florida, we'd like to see that the president gets reelected. There's a New York Times article, there's a lot of articles. Google voting machine disaster in Northampton County, Pennsylvania. You will find a New York Times article that my sister is in. You'll find a bunch of articles my sister is in. They had a disaster there with their new voting machines.
What
And
kind of a disaster?
they
Like one judge got 0 votes.
0 votes.
None.
And
One candidate had
expected to win.
30,000 more votes than.
There's something wrong. I voted for
And so
myself.
did it stand? This judge got
they did
zero
well, wait a
votes
minute. They
and
did
it
a
stood?
recount. Because, see, they have the same system basically we're getting. And they did a recount with the paper ballots. And they scanned the paper ballots. And the computer in the paper ballots are not the same. So which one was correct? Nobody could say.
Maybe
And-
neither one of them.
And they
is
were
the-
all
That's right.
bought to put in place in Philadelphia. At Philadelphia, the city council of Philadelphia, this company that sold them the voting machines donated $475,000 to the city council members in Philadelphia's campaign contributions. So there's a lot.
Which is
going
mostly a
on.
Democrat city.
Right. So
I just thought of a foolproof way to vote.
how?
You have your ID, which you have to have mostly anyway. You have a little video camera over there. You have 6 little video cameras. It wouldn't take any more time or cost any more money.
Invasion
I
of
go
privacy.
I go up to the video camera. I say, I vote Trump, da-da-da-da-da. It's on video. There's nothing that can be swooped around. I said it. Here I am. My twig didn't get twacked on the ballot.
Yeah, but in the camera, we'll never be able to see the gun over here that's pointed at you. Say it, lady.
That's right.
I'm telling that seems absurd, but I don't think it's a bad idea.
Well, let me apologize to everyone out there and all of you this morning. I feel I've kind of dominated some subject matter, and I know you asked some questions. So I apologize
It's
that
okay.
I've taken so much of the time.
I was sleepy
We do
anyway,
have
I
our
don't
pet of the week coming up. Did you have a subject? Because
Jesse not here this week?
No, she's
Jesse
in New
Barton?
York City.
Ah,
She's enjoying a Christmas
That's nice.
holiday in New York City.
Nice.
So good for her and her husband. Did you have a subject before you said this morning when you were coming in you want to make sure we touch on?
we got it all.
Got it all. Write that down. Got it all.
I'm with him.
I'm with him. We
I'm
got
with
it
that guy
all.
over there. What about you, Rick?
No, we did. We touched on a lot of good subjects.
I just want to amplify one thing. When Nancy strode to the podium,
Strode.
I like
strode,
that.
She went back, man.
Yeah, her opening line was, "Facts are uncontested.
Yeah.
Facts are
Lordy.
uncontested." And gee, you stop and think about that. Why are they uncontested? Because the Republicans couldn't bring any
Right.
people of their own into these
And you
hearings.
can't say anything.
So, it's so false on its face
You
that she
just-
would boldly walk out and say that. I mean, it's just,
It is
Angered.
incontrovertible.
You know,
No, it's not.
to think about with my ethical, and yours too. I mean, to walk out and spend your life every day ball-faced lying, just
That's what gets
lying
me. I'm with you.
is
I watched them and say,
inconceivable.
how do you do that?
Just ball-faced.
But then she
lying.
throws the little tizzy about, don't you mess with me with that word.
Yeah.
Later
And
in the day.
we
My
all-
Catholic family, the way
Yes.
I grew up.
I grew
Oh
up.
my,
my
the way
God.
she
I pray for
grew
the
up
president
is-
every day.
pray
I
for
still,
him.
yeah.
And
Yeah, we
and
covered
all
that
of
a little
us-
bit ago.
Yeah.
I think
But
she
you know
prays
who
he
they-
trips
Yeah,
or
I was
something.
raised
here's-
by
I think she
crooks.
does pray for him.
You know, I'm going to throw out a real bomb here.
Go for it. That's
Here
what
we go.
do. That's what we do.
You know-
Brace
Holding
yourself.
on.
But
The captain is at. Put the,
Bunker.
fasten the seatbelt.
they may
Bunker.
not be praying to the person or the being that we think they're implying they're praying to.
Ooh. Would that be Shiva, the destroyer?
It could be, you know, Allah, it could be down the bottom of the Red Sea. I'm
You threw
telling
it out there, and
Oh,
it
boy.
landed.
And kaboom!
There you go. Bruce, air balls, jump shots.
I knew
whatever
you were going to
call
ask,
it.
and I'm prepared.
I'm going to get my cheater out.
My home run, I'll go with this because we talked about that. Fat Jack in Iowa. Made Joe nervous and rude, and like they got into the whole push-up thing. Honest to God, that was my home run. Airball over the Thanksgiving holiday. Tesla drivers coming back home after the long holiday had to line up at like one of the few superchargers, and the line waiting to get to the supercharger because they get their 20 minutes to supercharge up again, half a mile.
Oh my! How many hours is that?
It took over 40 minutes.
Times the length of the car times
Yeah,
divided into
somebody
half a
figure
mile.
that
Is that
out.
the formula? 20 minutes, right? But the length of the car, average length, divided into a half a mile, times 20.
It took 40 minutes to go a quarter mile.
Times 20
kills
minutes
the
divided
whole
by
sale
60.
to me.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
thought
there
you were
go.
gonna- I
Is that
thought
the
you were gonna-
formula? Did I get that? Rick,
I thought you were going to talk about the new pickup truck that was introduced when he said it had the glass, it was unbreakable.
Oh yeah.
And then the guy comes out and he throws that thing,
Twice.
shatters it.
Twice.
Oh,
Bulletproof,
it worked on
yeah.
It worked on the first time.
what say you there, Rick?
Okay, my losers, we've thrown them under the bus so many times. Pamela Karlan, Noah Feldman, and those two are my losers. The other guy was a nothing. You
Gearhart.
really need to look, folks, at Noah Feldman and what he stands for. He is a big-time supporter of Sharia law.
He thinks it's the best way to go.
He researches, he does a lot of work in religion, especially Jewish and Muslim. Anyway, look at him. My winner of the week is going to be Barron Trump.
Yeah.
Barron Trump, a 13-year-old young man, speaks fluent 5 languages and is a master chess player.
Yeah.
And it takes an awful lot to become a master, recognized as a master chess player. 13 years old, this guy, and they're throwing him under the bus as juvenile fodder.
You know, I say this, the sacrifice, and even with the Obamas, okay? Children are children.
Exactly.
all right?
Leave 'em
The
alone.
Sacrifice, Amy Carter, you look at it down the line, you look at the sacrifice
The Ford daughters.
of these kids, of having to live, the real sacrifice that is made to be president of the United States, regardless of party, when you have children and they have to live in this closed circle. I mean, so
But-
I
It
thought
never ends.
You
either.
did hear the
It never-
Obamas just bought a 29-acre estate on
Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard
Yeah.
for 11.3.
I got it.
75 million.
Cash.
Kids are the kids. What say you?
Well, I want y'all
Ukrainian
to tell me
cash.
if I really heard this. I heard it, then I played it back, and then I heard it. Did Bloomberg really say we're going to tax the middle and lower class more, and it will make them healthier and happier because they will not have enough money to spend on things that are just not good for them.
Sugary drinks.
Therefore, we're going to make them healthier by taxing them. Did he say that
Yes, he
out
did.
loud?
Yeah.
Can
And
you
he-
believe that?
He had the most lame gun control press conference yesterday in Colorado. It was so monotone and so boring. and all he did was say the same things that everybody else is saying. He had no new ideas. Plug the loopholes, do this, do that. Just enforce the laws that we have on the books, and you'll have gun control up the wazoo.
Yeah. Well,
And the wazoo's a wide river.
And the wazoo is a wide river. Runs all the way from this mouth to that mouth.
we're good. That's it.
All right, here we go.
All right,
Okay.
folks. Well, ready. Listen, I'm going to tell you, in an impeachable offense, high crimes, misdemeanor, bribery, all the lists that they put together. Now, I generally don't do this, but, I have to say, you defer to, all right? Humble yourself sometime and defer to somebody that can put it out there, deliver it, lay it out to be understood. And I will tell you, if you get a chance, okay, because I was driving through the mountains last night at 6 o'clock, and I turned on the radio at 6:05, and from an undisclosed bunker, they found the guy, Mark Levin, the opening. If you get an opportunity, Google 12/5/2019 Mark Levin opening monologue and listen to the list of historical things that presidents from Roosevelt, presidents from throwing journalists in jail, Woodrow Wilson, from putting impeachable offense, putting Japanese in camps. The list on and on that this guy gave last night. And I said to myself, I was listening and I said, I cannot deliver that. I cannot. I have to just say, I said, you know what, I'm going to go try to rewrite that, give the guy credit, see if I can't do it. It was great. It was amazing. That's why we call him the Great One. Mark Levin, 12/5/2019 opening monologue. But he went through presidents. He started at Andrew Jackson. He went through presidents, and he gave all of these things that you don't think happened or know happened because you don't follow the history myself. And then he got up to Barack Obama. And do you remember when Barack Hussein Obama unleashed the IRS on his political opponents, the Tea Party groups?
Yep.
Remember that?
Lois Lerner.
Yeah, conservative, faith-based organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just think of that one right there.
And she's scared.
All right?
Okay.
Trump has done nothing. Congressman Collins, let me say thank you to you. Amazing job this week. All the Republican congressmen, don't want to leave you out. You did an amazing job this week. And Governor Brian Kemp, although I'm not on board with your pick, you made the pick. It's done. It's over with. And the only thing we can do is follow our new Senator, Kelly Loeffler, and see what she does as a new senator for Georgia. Tom Graves, wish you well. So much going on. Impeachment. They're going to impeach him in the second term. They're not going to stop impeaching the guy.
Yeah, they'll look for something.
Nothing. All right, so I'm for sure Donald Trump can maybe fall off a skateboard today or be embarrassed around the world. We didn't get to this. Justin Trudeau and this thing of laughing at the president. Let me just say something. Macron, you got to say it like that. Macron.
Emmanuel.
All right, Emmanuel Macron. The guy up there in Trudeau, Angela Merkel. Nobody would ever watch your press conference. You need to understand that. If you come out and do a press conference, let's say Macron next to Trudeau next to, nobody tunes in. You put Trump next to you, and actually people realize who you are. So shut the hell up, Jack. I'm sorry.
Push-ups.
Push-ups, 30. Pet of the week right after this. Thank you very much. Christmas sweaters next week, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. They can just